The thought of going through airport security is quite annoying, but does it really accomplish anything, or is it just a staged demonstration of force that leaves travelers exhausted, sweating, and irritable even before their trip even starts? Probably a little bit of both, as these bizarre findings by airport security seem to indicate that it does occasionally have purpose. Who knows what people might be hiding in their carry-on if given the chance? Here are the top 10 most bizarre items found by airport security. Number 10. There's no escaping the truth. If you're here just for jokes and silly videos, you might want to skip this one. Imagine feeling so desperate for a better chance at life, for the opportunity to just be alive, that you'll risk your life making the hazardous and expensive journey from your home to Europe. Spanish police find 2 migrants hidden inside mattresses. This may sound like a nightmare or a horror story, depending on how you look at it. That's the situation for thousands of people who are uprooted by conflict, poverty, and natural disasters as they try to make ends meet and provide for their families. The way these stories are frequently portrayed overlooks a great deal of the humanity that these people contain. People perceive no other option as an option, and they don't want to leave their homes behind, risk their lives at dangerous crossings, or at the hands of vicious traffickers. This is how these 2 young men ended up sewn into mattresses that were being transported into Spain at the hands of a human trafficker, where they were eventually taken into the custody of Spanish border officials. Simply imagining for a second what it would be like to be imprisoned for days within a cloth coffin with little light, little oxygen, and the uncertainty of never being able to escape is both depressing and extremely unsettling at the same time. It's truly quite terrifying. Before we go on, be sure to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. Number 9. On a different note, you really have to wonder about some people. We all have things that we might choose to bring with us when we travel, but dead birds are a whole other story. There are some fairly strict regulations about what you can and cannot bring into the United States. These range from the obvious, such as weapons, to fruit and vegetables. The United States takes the importation of exotic goods very seriously. When a passenger from Beijing arrived at Washington, D.C.'s airport, they were carrying packages of what looked like cat food, but what it actually was extremely strange and gross. Crossing borders with produce or plants can bring invasive pests into the country. In fact, livestock is also on the list, but dead stock, well, to transport anything weird and wonderful you basically need a permit. If you're bringing something other than your standard shirts and slacks, you best be ready to defend yourself to an unhappy security guard. It goes without saying that a package carrying a lot of small dead birds would be intercepted and set on fire, but one can only speculate as to what one may desire with a bag of gloomy little dead birds. Number 8. You really have to wonder what this person was thinking. Anyone who has ever passed through an airport knows that the shape of a gun is what those security scanners are primarily looking for, so I'm not sure what this guy was thinking. The 9mm handgun that was discovered in his checked luggage was hidden inside a DVD player after being wrapped in aluminum foil. It was detected by the security scanner at New York's JFK Airport, where a man was scheduled to depart for Mexico. Again, if you truly need a gun, these things can be bought almost anywhere, so why are you even attempting to bring it with you? Although it is technically against the law to bring firearms on an airplane in your carry-on, there are certain strict regulations that must be followed. If you're that attached to your weapon, though, you might be able to fit it in your suitcase under specific circumstances. If you are found in possession of a firearm at airport security, you will face severe consequences, including arrest, charges of weapons violations, and a hefty fine. This is exactly what happened to the man in 2019. The TSA in the United States seized 4,432 guns at checkpoints, the majority of which were loaded and, frighteningly, many of which had a bullet in the chamber, which is completely reckless and insane by anyone's standards. Number 7. What is wrong with people? This is absurd in so many ways. This woman was traveling from Thailand to Iran when airport security staff at Bangkok International Airport found a baby tiger cub hidden inside her suitcase. The 3-month-old tiger had been put into the luggage along with a stuffed toy tiger. The bag was deemed overweight and would therefore be sent for an X-ray before being loaded onto the aircraft. It was extremely fortunate that the X-ray revealed a live animal was concealed inside, and animal protection personnel were contacted right away. The woman was arrested and charged with wildlife smuggling, which carries a high fine and a potential 4-year prison sentence in Thailand. She claimed that she had no knowledge of what was in the luggage and that she had been instructed to carry it on by someone else. Isn't that always the truth? It appears that Iran, where the little tiger was headed, is a major hub for the illegal trade in exotic pets. Considering the condition of the animal when it was found, it is unlikely that the little guy would have made it through the trip, so it's lucky that security noticed this strange item. Number 6. Barcelona airport security stopped a man who had arrived from Bogota, Colombia, because there was something unusual about his unusually large wig. It turns out that it was concealing, though not very convincingly, a pound of cocaine that was taped to his head underneath. Any man with unusually high hair would alert airport security to the fact that something suspicious was going on, and police are still searching the area for clues. The anxious man had 1.1 pounds of cocaine, which is reportedly worth $34,000, neatly wrapped up in a little bundle under his incredibly high hairpiece. He would be arrested by Spanish police, and there would undoubtedly be hell to pay. Smuggling techniques are becoming more and more inventive, with items like breast implants and hollowed-out pineapples being used as hiding places. This location stood out for all the wrong reasons. It must be excruciating enough to be worried that others are observing your artificial hair in the first place, much less the fact that it is loaded with narcotics. Number 5. In an incident that brought back memories of the old watches under the coat trick, a man was stopped at the Hong Kong airport carrying 94 iPhones strapped to his body. It seems that carrying so many phones around you can make you walk a little strange, which is how the man initially caught the attention of customs officers as he tried to smuggle a large quantity of brand new iPhones into the mainland from Hong Kong, China. 2015 saw the launching of a new Apple product, but China delayed its release, so some turned to smuggling iPhones for sale, a lucrative but questionable legal practice. The guy had phones strapped to every part of his body, hidden only by a big red sweater and baggy trousers. But that's not the most ridiculous part of the story. After he passed through the metal detector, guess what happened? All of the lights and sirens would go off, and the stash of contraband would obviously be swiftly discovered. You just have to wonder if he remembered to turn each of the 94 devices off, if he had actually made it onto the plane. Number 4. A German professor was traveling through an airport in Rome when he was surprised to be approached by customs officials who were interested in the human remains he had in his suitcase. It turns out that traveling with human bones in your luggage is illegal. I know, what a surprise, but you'll have to leave your skulls and such behind the next time you travel. The unfortunate man would be arrested for unlawfully possessing human remains after border police questioned him. He claimed to have bought the skull from a market stall for €50, saying it was well polished but missing its lower jaw. His unusual luggage was then sent to the scientific department of the Italian police force for analysis. They intend to test the skull for DNA in an effort to determine its origin. Number 3. 200 live tarantulas discovered in a suitcase. Like the opening scene of an absurd action movie, the discovery of 200 live tarantulas in the luggage of a German couple would raise certain eyebrows. Airport security noticed something a little strange about the pair's suitcase during routine scanning while they were waiting to board a connecting flight from the airport to their home destination. They looked into it more and found what some people would consider to be the stuff of nightmares. Boxes and boxes of live tarantulas, along with a variety of other creepy crawlies like grasshoppers, millipedes, and beetles. The insects were obviously relieved to be found, but you can only imagine the chaos that followed as the grasshoppers started to jump around. The spiders gave people the creeps, beetles traveling on backpacks. It's enough to make you itchy all over. After all the bugs were rounded up and successfully captured, they were quickly taken into confiscation, which is probably a relief for many people who are afraid of spiders. At the very least, they probably caught them all. I highly doubt that any tarantulas are still hiding out in that airport. However, did they really count them all? Number 2. This is officially one of the most ridiculous smuggling incidents to date. A woman traveling from Melbourne to Singapore was stopped as she tried to pass through customs when the border police believed they heard a flipping noise coming from her waist. I mean, how does that even happen, and what exactly is a flipping noise? Nevertheless, the customs officials were correct. There was definitely something fishy about this woman. Upon closer inspection, the officers would discover that the woman was wearing a specially designed sort of apron underneath her skirt, and inside those pockets were bags upon bags of live fish, staring out of their sad little plastic bag bowls. Australia has some of the strictest customs laws in the world. Smuggling wildlife is a serious offense, and if this woman is found guilty, she could be sentenced to a lengthy prison term and a sizable fine. Prior to charging her, customs officials were looking into which species of fish were involved. Number 1. An actual stash of gold bars was found in an airplane bathroom during a routine end-of-day check. Staff found 2 bags containing at least 24 of these gold bars as the plane was returned to Kolkata for the night. This next story borders on the bizarre because I can't really grasp it. Please let me know if you understand what actually happened here in the comments below. It turns out that this surprise would be worth somewhere in the region of $1.2 million, so it's not like you just found out that you had a hole in your pocket and lost all your loose change. Also, while I'm not an expert, where in an airplane bathroom could you actually hide anything at all? There's barely any room in there, let alone hide 53 pounds of solid gold. This is after having traveled from Mumbai to Bangkok earlier in the day. What has managed to pass the razor-sharp eyes of airport security officers is a question I can hardly bear to think about. But these are undoubtedly some of the most bizarre items that people have attempted and failed to pass through airport security. In the comments section below, share with me all of your airport security slips. Also take a look at our other videos that are appearing on the screen, and I'll see you next time.